Detained terrorists admit Hamas using hospitals to shield themselves.
Here's a summary of the article.
The IDF and Shin Bet released on Saturday afternoon footage from investigations of 2 terrorists who infiltrated Israel on October 7 and provided further evidence of Hamas operatives using hospitals in the Gaza Strip to shield themselves from IDF strikes. During his interrogation, Amer Abu Awash, a member of Hamas's elite Nukba force, was asked about the connection between hospitals in Gaza and the Palestinian enclave's vast system of subterranean tunnels, to which he responded, "Most of them are hidden in the hospitals. Shifa, for example, there are underground levels. Shifa is not small, it is a big place that can be used to hide things." Abu Awash is then asked by the interrogator about why Hamas was using medical institutions, such as hospitals and clinics, for protection, to which he answered, "You won't strike them." In a special briefing for international media, Haggari presented intelligence indicating that the central command of Hamas is located beneath the Shifa hospital. The hospital has 1,500 beds and about 4,000 staff members who act as a human shield for Hamas leaders, he said. There is a tunnel that leads to the hospital, allowing entry to the Hamas command without passing through the hospital itself. In a recording that was revealed during the briefing, a conversation between 2 Gaza residents can be heard, confirming the presence of the Hamas command center beneath the Shifa hospital.
This post received a score of 12,000, with an upvote ratio of 77%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Actually, in 2014, Amnesty International released a report that mentioned that Al-Shifa Hospital was being used as a location by Hamas for the detaining and torture of Palestinian dissidents. God, imagine going to the hospital and knowing they're torturing people in the basement.
That still beats $120 for aspirin, right?
Is billing B2 or B3?
You sunk my battleship.
Old news. They have always done this, to great effect. If you shoot at them, you probably hit innocents nearby as well, and they have new martyrs for recruiting, and you look like a villain. If you don't shoot back, they continue shooting at you from that location. They win either way. It's their best tool for generating international outrage. ADLND. If it weren't so fucking evil, it would be genius.
Militarily speaking, there is no winning for Hamas. It's not like they can actually make Israel disappear. They just want to inflict as much terror as possible and make Israel look as bad as possible. They are pretty good at it. That said, Israel doesn't particularly care what people think of their actions. They see this conflict as an existential problem, so their response is always going to be one that suits them best first and foremost.
Greater than militarily speaking, there is no winning for Hamas. They just want to inflict as much terror as possible and make Israel look as bad as possible. That wasn't the goal. The goal was twofold. 1. Scare PPL away from the Abraham Accords. 2. Lure an enraged Israel into a trap Hamas spent years crafting.
Does anyone else think that after the India, Middle East and Europe corridor was announced, Hamas attacked Israel because it didn't want the relations between Israel and Saudi to be normalized? Or is there another reason behind this attack?
That is essentially the first reason I listed.
Known for years, they do this, the absolute shameless cowards. When the IDF mentioned this recently, some idiots keep blathering on about not trusting the IDF. And it's the IDF saying this, before committing a war crime. Well, there you go, video footage straight from the terrorist's mouth.
They'll say it was achieved through torture and coercion, or move the goalpost. These arguments are not likely done in good faith.
The same people who talk breathlessly about how those released hostages saying Hamas was nice even though they still have hostages and likely threatened them and forced them to say that means anything.
Wait until they hear how high up the Richter scale hostage holding is considered concerning war crimes. Common Article 3 of the Geneva Convention. Source: take note that it does not say it is okay if they're treated humanely if they're a hostage. It says taking of hostages and ends there with no further explanation necessary. Anyone sympathizing with the act of taking innocent Israelis hostage because, even if the off chance Hamas is treating them like royalty, it is a very explicit war crime, and I'm shocked no one is calling that out when they're so easily thrusting war crime on Israel's military action. And being treated well does not matter, it's an explicit war crime and high up on that list in general.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes. and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.